Hello everyone, this is 201A. After a 5-month wait, I'm finally getting to my review of the Chaos Unleashed platformer on Scratch. I will be linking the game in the description, so if you haven't played it already, make sure to. Finally, be aware that this video will contain spoilers. Let's jump right into our review. Chaos Unleashed is a memorable game for a number of reasons. Primarily, it is new. I've been on Scratch for quite a while now, and while I'd hate to sound like that guy, I do really feel like it's rare to find a truly passionate and original project. I mean, don't get me wrong, Will Williams' Ninja game is a legend, but at this point I've seen way too many Red Robe Ninjas in other people's projects. And those can even feel like the cream of the crop at times, as odd as that might sound. Chaos Unleashed is unique. It has several different enemies, weapons, and unique level structures. Plus, there is a story that is both unique and well paced. It has a spectacular atmosphere to top off the entire package. Let's tackle all of these individually. The enemies come in three forms. The normal demon that just walks back and forth is no trouble at all, unless it's placed in a tight area that you have to jump onto. The developer is fully aware of this, and it adds a new side to an otherwise bland enemy. The gliding demon swoops down on the player. While it can be struck out of the air, this can be tricky, and the most effective way to defeat it is to shoot it with a bow. However, sometimes they are placed in areas that restrict your aim, meaning that you have to dodge them or strike them. Lastly, there's an armored demon. These cannot be killed with a bow, meaning that you'll need to either jump over them or attack them. They are also often placed in such a way that they pose a serious risk, I would argue more serious than the other two enemies. Overall, I think the foes in Chaos Unleashed are designed very well, considering the length of the game. There are enough enemies to keep it interesting, but not too many that it becomes obnoxious. There are two weapons in Chaos Unleashed, a sword and a bow. I should point out that the bow controls are praiseworthy for how intuitive they are. While you are told how to use the bow, the system of controlling and aiming it is exactly what one would expect. As for the level structure, I love how varied the platforming sequences are. In all too many Scratch games, the difficulty is made entirely up of toe stubbing challenges. Chaos Unleashed uses toe stubbing too at times, but there are levels that focus on leaping off of walls, dealing with enemies in small areas, finding the right path through a maze of obstacles, or a combination of all of the above. Story and atmosphere are probably my favorite parts of the entire thing. The gray scenery gives the feeling of a place that has been completely desolated. Plus, an amazing yet sorrowful score plays in the background. The story is simple but creative. I think for a game with the length of Chaos Unleashed, only a certain amount of story can be crammed in, otherwise it turns into a choose-your-own-adventure book where the story overtakes the gameplay. There is enough story to make the player want to know what happens, but not so much that you tire of monologue. The ambiguous start and finish also leave a lot to the imagination, which I actually appreciate. I'll also mention the boss. While it is very challenging to approach, boasting two different attacks that can be nightmares to avoid, its health does not refill upon the player being hit. I think this is perfect for a boss of this type. Players can challenge themselves by trying to die as little as possible. At the same time, the boss manages to be exhilarating without being too oppressive to new players. Which brings us to another point. The game is hard. It isn't the hardest I've ever played on Scratch, but it is hard enough that the challenges you need to overcome give the adventure meaning. I really respect how the developer was brave enough to make a challenging game, as often developers on Scratch and elsewhere focus more on accessibility than quality and their own personal vision. So here are my thoughts. If I had one complaint, it would be control sensitivity. I feel like this has more to do with my own personal tastes than the platform's quality as a whole, but I still thought I should share that just to be completely fair. Other than that, I think it was phenomenal. Of course, there are currently 2 sequels. The sequels all add a lot more to the game with new and creative challenges and weapons, as well as better mechanics than the original. In fact, as far as game sequels on Scratch go, I think they do a very good job of maintaining originality. I give them my highest recommendation. However, if you only have time to do one of them, the one I recommend will be the original. If you like games on Scratch, or even if you have no clue what Scratch is, I will recommend you give Chaos Unleashed a go, unless you rage easily. That's it for my review. Next time I'll be ranking the Bobolopolis enemies from easiest to hardest. That should be fun, so stay tuned. Also be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. Thanks for watching.